Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. The Art of Amalia Jonas is at the art store near Lupton, Michigan. Stop by her gallery or visit her online to purchase that perfect masterpiece or sign up for private lessons. Begin your journey in the world of art by capturing the inspiration around you under the personal direction of Amalia Jonas at the art store. Hale Hardware, your do-it-center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving Northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pull. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pull. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. You'll find delicious food and fun at Timber Steakhouse, East County Line Road, South Branch, Michigan. You'll find delicious steaks, pizza, and a full menu with the best food in the North. Enjoy the fine food and karaoke fun at Timber Steakhouse, County Line Road, South Branch. Rose Valley Winery, committed to making quality wines from locally grown cold-hardy grapes. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road, Rose City. Hi, welcome to Michigan Magazine. I'm Barry Stutzman. Glad you could join us. On today's show, we're going to be bringing back some memories to a place called Kenyon's Hideaway near Lupton, Michigan. If you've been watching Michigan Magazine, you know the story of how Kenyon's has become an historic landmark, known as a pretty popular early century family vacation hideaway, and a favorite of the notorious Purple Gang that turned it into a prosperous local speakeasy during Prohibition. We told you of how it slowly over the years began to lose its luster, and on the verge of being condemned, until a former employee, Barbara Goodboo, came into the picture through an unusual set of circumstances that unexpectedly set her on a personal mission to save this northern Michigan jewel. Through determination, she set about the job of purchasing, renovating, and bringing the property and structures up to code. The project turned into a literal $1 million project. That attracted the attention of past patrons who joined her quest and donated their talents into bringing Kenyon's Hideaway back to the status of Kenyon's Resort. On today's show, owner Barbara Goodboo takes us on a personal tour of Kenyon's. She's got tales to tell and unusual happenings to relate that have caught the attention of guests who believe that the spirit of Kenyon's lives on in more ways than one. It's coming up on this week's Michigan Magazine.
Vacation. Don't make the planning of it more than what you're trying to get away from. At northernmichigancabinrentals.com, you can choose from over 2,500 cabins, cottages, lodges, resorts, lakefront vacation home rentals, and more. Whatever experience you're looking for, from rustic to luxury and everything in between. No more rustling with telephone books. No more endless internet searches. Just one site with over 2,500 Northern Michigan destinations. northernmichigancabinrentals.com.
On an earlier edition of Michigan Magazine, we told you of the wonderful heritage of Kenyon's Hideaway, a resort and speakeasy for the notorious Purple Gang during the Prohibition years. The resort on beautiful Sage Lake in Ogama County has withstood the changing times through many owners and was slowly succumbing to an unavoidable demise due to ever-increasing costs of maintenance and Mother Nature slowly sliding the foundation of the original structure onto itself. It was scheduled for demolition until a saving angel appeared, a former employee who grew up in the area and came to love the old historic motel and its history, Barbara Goodboo, who some believe through divine intervention came home to save it, and through perseverance and unbelievable local and patron support found over $1 million to renovate and restore Kenyon's. Renovation and restoration is a continuing process, according to Barbara. While doing so, she found amazing things that were purposely hidden away from patrons and employees, like underground tunnels that went for miles, ending at other locations, supposedly to throw authorities off the tracks of transporting bootleg liquor and beer. There's hidden doorways and trapdoors, apparent escape routes that gave solace to clientele that included the notorious Purple Gang, who were believed to have had something to do with the planning and construction of those added benefits. And some say, including Barbara, there are things going on that convinces her that renovations are still going on under the influence and direction of guiding powers other than her and her crew. We begin our tour admiring an old painting in the dining area depicting the way Kenyons looked in the beginning.
This is the original Kenyons. When it started out, that was it. Before the wraparound porches, before everything else, that was Kenyons. Is that not amazing? Yes. You know, above us is the original portion of the building. What most people don't realize is that Kenyons was actually pretty small. I mean, it just was above us and this area here. The rest of it was just porch, you know, porch, and they hung out, they had fires, they had dances, they did all kinds of events here. It was known as Kenyon's Playhouse. And they used to actually come here and have their family events and have a really nice time. I'll take you upstairs and I'll show you what the original portion of the hotel looks like if you'd like to see that.
You're going to step back in time now. Actually.
Definitely. There's a few doors and stuff that since I've bought Kenyons, I've put the doors back. Like they had walled over that door right there, drywalled and whatnot, and this door as well. There's a lot of little secret passages that go through this building that are just unbelievable. And it's very understandable that they would close them up because there's just too many to keep track of. But everything that I've come across that I know was there, is supposed to be there, I'm bringing back. Now Barry, watch your head, you guys. You guys are tall, doesn't bother me, but you're about to enter the old time, small steps and short ceilings, okay? What you've entered now is the old historical portion of this building. This is from way back when Kenyons was first built and went into business in 1903 as a hotel resort. This did not even have plumbing at that time. So these rooms on this half of this hotel are located directly above the VIP lounge where we were just at. And they only have 2 common hall bathrooms, just like in the olden days. I've had to restore those bathrooms. When I got Kenyons, the bathrooms did not work. And we've had to bring the tile all the way in from Florida to restore the showers. Some of the things aren't quite finished yet. For example, I haven't got the polyurethane on the wood, but at least the walls are repaired and everything works and it's all rebuilt. But the important parts are done. But that's what it would have looked like back in the day from the pictures. You know, we call those our Bonnie and Clyde bathrooms. We call this here our cell block 17, and the reason for that is because most people don't realize, but put a little bit of 2 and 2 together here, all right? Elvis Presley lived at Graceland Ballroom, or lived at Graceland. We've had the Lupton Ballroom here, okay? We all know that Elvis has been up here, and we all know that Elvis had something to do with the Purple Gang. Does anybody see any connection there? Okay, in his song, when he went to sing at the penitentiary, if you think about it, right here, it says it. Right in Elvis Presley's song, Jailhouse Rock, the whole rhythm section was the Purple Gang. Once again, 2 and 2. You know? So this one here, we've gone ahead and named the jail. This is the original wallpaper from back in the day. The original ceiling and your light fixtures. Everything has been fixed back up and restored and put back together. And the pieces that were missing, we did a major search to find a lot of this stuff. However, when you are in jail, please take note. There is no TV. There is no bathroom. This is the original fixtures. This is the original wallpaper. You are in jail. This room comes complete with absolutely no privacy. It is a co-ed jail, so keep that in mind.
Do you actually rent this one out? Or?
I rent this room, believe it or not, a lot. All the professional people that you would think would be the least likely, the police officers have come over here and rented this jail, you know, and they all love it. They say, Barb, we're glad you have a jail, because I always tell everybody that comes here, you know, if your friends won't throw you in jail, I will. Oh, by the way, if you do end up in jail, I do want to tell you one thing. I will take your picture. I will have you stand in front of this. I will mark it, and I even provide you with a pair of jailbird pajamas that are black and white striped, and when you're in the middle of sleeping, I will be back to take your picture and put it on the internet so everybody knows what a fool you probably made of yourself. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, all right.
And I do that part for free.
Oh, boy.
This right here is, I'm going to take you up. Now this again, short ceiling, short steps. So watch your head right through here. All right. This is Suite 13.
Any hauntings, perhaps?
Well, the one thing most people, I don't try to tell anybody, if you don't believe in ghosts, that's okay. I didn't. Uncle Jim didn't. Lots of us don't. Lots of my employees that have worked for me never did. However, you spend a little time at Kenyons and pretty soon you become a believer.
Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by Hingeman Acres Canoe Livery and Resort on M33 just north of Mayo, catering to the outdoor enthusiasts. Cabins, canoes, kayaks, rafts, and more. Daytime or overnight trips along the world-famous Asabo River. A family getaway for over 75 years. Clemex Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mayo, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemex Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemex on Mapes Road, Mayo. 33 Motorsports Park, family racing fun for all ages and skill levels. 3 tracks located on M33 in Oscoda County. Come watch or join in the action all year long. Developed for motorcycles, quads, UTVs, and snowmobiles. 33 Motorsports Park. Discount Foods, downtown Mayo. Find national name brand foods and merchandise at sharply discounted prices. Shop the smart way and please the family without breaking the budget. Discount Foods, downtown Mayo.
The one thing most people, I don't try to tell anybody, if you don't believe in ghosts, that's okay. I didn't. Uncle Jim didn't. Lots of us don't. Lots of my employees that have worked for me never did. However, you spend a little time at Kenyons and pretty soon you become a believer. When Jim Jones died, the first thing I did was I came up here. Auntie Jean Ann, which was his wife, and the kids, called me up, and I started in the attic, going through all of the belongings. I come across a lot of their belongings and belongings of owners from the past and whatnot. Very long story short, we started feeling things up here. It was getting kind of intense, a little bit creepy. Just pulling out all of these things that people had hidden and for so long and thought nobody would ever find, kind of stuff, And I hauled a lot of different things, like old clothes and stuff that were still in decent shape and whatnot, to the downstairs hotel level so that we could donate it to Salvation Army. And that kind of opened up a can of worms. All of a sudden we started having a lot of issues around Kenyons. We had little sightings of different things, and at first everybody was kind of afraid to mention it to each other, what they had just seen. And then it became too obvious because 2 people would see it at the same time suddenly, and you'd see these little misty formations, or you would take pictures and there's all these dots in the background. Sometimes you hear voices or something touch you, and we have this one ghost that particularly likes Uncle Jim. He likes to scare Uncle Jim when he goes past the dishwasher. I don't know what that's about, but the dishwasher will tend to make these big pop noises like somebody had just slammed the side of the stainless steel, and it echoes, And it only happens when Uncle Jim's there. My accountant, Liz, and I, we used to stand in the kitchen and say goodbye, and the pots and pans would start swinging a little bit for no apparent reason. There's no air on, there's no window open, there's, strange things like that. And you can only blow off so much, until you have hotel guests that start coming up and telling you. I had room 18 rented out, and I had a couple of people that, I won't mention their names, but they were highly upset that I didn't disclose that in advance. And so from now on, I do tell people, whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. But I do want you to be prepared. If you stay at Kenyons, you may have visitors. I have 2 or 3 rooms that are extremely active. Let's just put it that way. But they are friendly ghosts. I have very friendly ghosts. So, and like I said, I believe I stirred that up by starting in the attic and going through all the stuff and dragging it down, because this is where all the bodies lied, in so to speak. And downstairs, and I know it may sound strange, but several of the owners and close family members have all died down in the same room, of this in particular building, and there's sometimes that we still see little visions of this figure of a white dress, an old style fashioned white dress, kind of just mist like float past, you know. And we call her Grandma Margaret. They've all got names now. But once again, you don't have to believe, but if you rent a room, I want you to know I have told you in advance.
Right. The spirit lives on here, no matter what. Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. Wow.
That's correct. And some of the cute stuff that we found right in these floorboards that you're standing on right now. I don't know, I don't have anything, but see this board? These are, so many of these have hidden spots underneath them.
Really?
Where we have found scrolls, pictures, all kinds of things like that, you know. So I don't know, maybe some of my ghosts are a little upset we found their stuff, I don't know. This room over here, I have under construction, but hopefully next time you come back, I can take you in this room.
Okay.
This room actually is an adjoining room. It also has its own little original bathroom, and I do have the original sink and stuff in there, which is, and the original little tiny toilet. It's so cute. But in its closet is those other set of stairways I told you about. As a matter of fact, Jean Ann Jones, she lived here. She was married to Jimmy and raised her children here. And it's so funny because when I took it over, I said, Auntie Jean Ann, are you aware of this? And I went to push it, but somebody had nailed it shut through the years. And she didn't even realize that there was the whole wall moved out of sight and you could go.
Really?
Didn't even know. She lived right here and it was a great hiding spot right in front. She didn't know. You know, so I always tell people, especially contractors, if you lean on a wall around here, or you know, and something moves and you come up missing and you end up in a tunnel, don't try to find your way out. Just don't do it. Hang on, wait, yell. We will find you. You know, upstairs, I don't know if you noticed, I had a whole little bucket full of just walkie-talkies. We give those to our contractors, so if they come up missing, we can find them. They can. Yes, but on the other side of this room is a central hub for a bunch of the passages.
Really? But
I know that I have to have clearance before we can go in them because the building code. They've been marked unsafe at this point.
Oh, boy.
You know, somebody could get hurt, and there's not good lighting, and there's little steps, and some of the steps are missing, but I will get them done. When I do, you guys will be able to see them.
Our visit with Barbara Goodboo and our tour of historic canyons was intriguing and, at times, raised the hairs on the back of our necks. Nothing really unusual happened to us as we went from room to room filming. Nothing unusual, I say, meaning what we experienced has happened before. While filming one of the bathrooms that had most of the original plumbing still there and operating, our camera stopped working and our batteries went apparently dead. My camera just cut off suddenly. Hold on. Then, after leaving the room, the camera mysteriously came to life, to which Barbara told us,
It happens to almost everybody that has video cameras.
there is so much more of our tour to share with you, but time constraints won't allow. We urge you to check out Kenyon's website or watch our entire tour at our website. Barbara is continuing her preservation efforts at Kenyon's, but she also is quite innovative, seeing opportunity for improvements, like the balcony created over the famous freight train car walk-in cooler in the first floor kitchen. The balcony makes for a pleasant reprieve from the infamous Room 18. The resort has become more and more of a family resort and getaway. Despite some unexplained happenings, Kenyon's remains a popular and fun-filled attraction with plenty of special events and casual dining. So under the capable stewardship, with the apparent support of those who came before her, Barbara Goodboo, owner of Kenyon's, has saved a Michigan historic treasure and continues an area legacy. So there you have it. There's plenty of other mysteries in Michigan to discover. So get up, get out, and get off the beaten path. And follow us where we go. I'd like to thank Barbara Goodboo for sharing Kenyons with us. Michigan is known as the Water Wonderland, and that not only refers to the Great Lakes that surround us, but sometimes relates to the rain from above. But as we discovered at a recent festival in Hale, Michigan, it never dampens the spirit of a community determined to celebrate. Hale's third annual Hot Air Balloon Festival went on as scheduled in September, even though the weather grounded many of those balloons. We found hundreds still enjoying themselves as the spots of sunshine broke through the clouds. And even more fun as they dashed for cover during an unexpected downpour. The exhibition barns kept everyone happy and dry, making for another successful balloon fest in Hale. It's so wonderful to see Michiganders know how to celebrate, with new festivals and events popping up more and more. Another event we recently attended was an extremely fun cowboy race at Liberty Pines in Ogama County. Shawn Beardsley opened her ranch up to spread the word about equestrian fun. Again, the October rains made for a chilly, wet day, but horse lovers of all ages from throughout the state made it to the new constructed arena for a bit of fun and competition. We're looking forward to the second annual event. We've got plenty of brand new shows coming your way here on Michigan Magazine, including a visit to the world-famous Cabela's Outdoor World. We'll be visiting Dundee, Michigan to learn more about the Michigan expansion of two new Cabela's complexes in Saginaw and Granville. That's all the time we've got for this edition. We'll check in with you right here next week on RFD or online at MichiganMagazine.com. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see you here next week. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. Randy's Restaurant and Bakery, downtown Rose City. Freshly baked daily, cookies, breads, pastries, donuts, homemade pies, and more. Randy's has a full menu to tackle the heartiest appetite, including pizza and hand-dipped ice cream. Taste the freshness and savor the good times at Randy's, downtown Rose City. For home, medical, and healthcare products, visit Rose City Drug at 2640 North M33, just south of Rose City city limits. Rose City Drug has a complete diabetic department, including shoes. Serving Michigan for over 20 years. Rose City Drug, Rose City. Tri-Point Connections, a church connecting to God, people, and community. Tri-Point Connections invites you to rediscover church in a relaxed, refreshing atmosphere. Join us Saturdays for fellowship and worship. Greenbrier Golf Course, Sage Lake Road, Lupton. You'll love this beautiful, professionally designed 18-hole course with a bogey golfer in mind. From pro to beginner, Greenbrier will have you returning for more. Enjoy the watered fairways, driving range, full-service restaurant, bar with Wi-Fi, and gift shop. Greenbrier, Sage Lake Road, Lupton.